Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for joining me. This is a two-part live pertaining to Dominic Evans. He is an associate band member of Tommaso Scione. Tommaso is the husband or boyfriend of Annie Guthrie. He's been tormented, he says, by social media hacks. Is he involved in this crime, the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie? Some people may say possibly, don't know. But so far, he has not been named as a suspect, just speculation and rumors. And lastly, David. Court filings have been revealed by Private Eye, Steve Fisher. We're going to chop all that information up. But first, we're going to talk about Dominic Evans. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL. Daily Mail is the source, everyone. A bandmate of Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law has said his home was mobbed by social media sleuths who falsely believed he was a suspect in the abduction case. Dominic Evans, 48, an elementary school teacher and drummer in a band with Tommaso Scione, and his life was turned upside down when he was incorrectly named online as a person of interest. He told the New York Times that his family were left fearing for their lives when a mob showed up at his home and demanded he be arrested despite police sharing no public evidence linking him to the 84-year-old's disappearance. The only tenuous link appeared to be a picture of an unidentified suspect wearing a mask outside Nancy's home on the night she vanished in the early hours of February 1st, which some online claim matched Evans' eyes. Evans, arrested in 1999 for stealing a calculator and a watch from a bar, was enough to cement him as a suspect on social media, with some claiming he abducted Nancy with Scione, who has also faced a wave of false allegations that he was involved. And as most of you know, he, his wife, and other Guthrie family members, spouses, have been cleared by Sheriff Nanos as subjects in the disappearance of Nancy. The teacher said his son was with his grandmother when the abuse began on February 10th, and the mob outside their home forced the 6-year-old to spend his first night away from his parents because they were too afraid to leave their home. It was all night looking through the window, trying to not let any light out of our home, Evans' wife added, describing herself as scared numb by the situation. Evans said he was briefly interviewed by investigators about the disappearance, and the Times said he was often near tears as he recounted the experience of being hounded by social media sleuths. Wow. I feel like someone's taken my name, he said. Asked for what reason he was targeted, he responded, I don't know. Monetary, clickbait, to be relevant, entertainment, but there are innocent people that get hurt. Very interesting. And if we're to look at the photograph that they have underneath this commentary, I don't think the eyes are the same if you put them up close to the eyes just showing blown up, re-enhanced. I don't know. Once again, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, who has come under scrutiny for his handling of the high-profile case, told the outlet that he has been frustrated by the wave of online accusations muddying his investigation. He's going through hell, and it's horrible, Nanos said of Evans. And I don't know what to tell him, except he probably should be speaking with some attorneys and sue some of these people for libel. Nano said he does not want to publicly rule out anyone besides the Guthrie family, but added, I wish I could jump out and defend every single one of them that's been falsely accused. 25 days into the search, authorities have made no arrests or named any persons of interest. However, on Tuesday, investigators were seen back at Nancy's home looking at her front door where blood drops were previously found. Evans said he met Scione in 2007 when he responded to a Craigslist ad looking for musicians to join a rock band, and the pair created the band Early Black. He said they started jamming with the guitars and recalls at some point Scione casually mentioned he was married to the older sister of Today Show star Savannah Guthrie. Evans said he only met Nancy once in 2011 when he was invited by Tommaso to bring his oldest son to search for Easter eggs at her Tucson home. Recalling the start of his recent nightmare in the spotlight, Evans said he and his wife were putting their two sons to bed when he saw on the news that Nancy was missing and she was believed to have been abducted. He said he texted Shione a message of support and said he was there for him, but within days they were both facing a slew of accusations that they were responsible. Within days, Evans said his street was filled with calls from journalists and online detectives who believed they had cracked the case. He said by the 13th day that Nancy was missing, the situation became unbearable, and he asked his school's principal to hold a meeting where he could address the speculation to other staff. Now, I find this interesting that he's addressed staff members, but we've heard nothing about it. That same week, he said he was interviewed by the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department, who quizzed him on his relationship with Shione, their band, and his whereabouts on the night that Nancy disappeared. Soon after, the swarm of media in the Tucson area saw a SWAT van leaving the sheriff's office, which led people on social media to assume Evans was being arrested, and he says his home address was then posted online. This one felt really, really, really scary because it was like everyone was waiting for someone to come to our house, his wife said. Evans said he thought he was being swatted, where someone causing a hoax crime to send a SWAT team to a person's home, but it turned out the SWAT team briefly arrested someone miles from his home before they were released without charge. As of today, police have made no arrests in the case, leading Savannah to offer $1 million reward for information leading to her mother. Evans said the wave of allegations has only eased in recent days, allowing him to return to teaching, and he says his fears that his fifth grade students would believe the online claims thankfully did not materialize. DailyMail.co.uk is the source. Thank you for joining me. So we have a man who felt terrorized by media, online sleuths, people hounding his home. Naturally, this would be scary for anyone, especially children. And that's something that a lot of people don't think about when you're accusing people. You do not think about their family members, their friends, their community, people that allegedly know them. And as I always say, you don't know people, you really don't know people. But the point still remains, you don't have proof. You're going by assumptions and listening to what other people are saying and passing it as truth and facts. The man has not been arrested. His house hasn't been searched to my knowledge. And you did hear in this commentary that his house was searched, car seized. I'm assuming they checked his home out. He thought his house was swatted. His information put online, his house, which was cruel. And you learned that this alleged burglary charge was over a calculator and a wallet, I believe. So obviously he would have been a young person when this happened, under the influence of alcohol. Not to say it is an excuse, but he obviously was inebriated. Oh, a watch, excuse me. Stealing a calculator and a watch from a bar, which don't really make any sense. A watch and a calculator. So where would you get a calculator and a watch from? Something left behind? Maybe he worked at a bar? I don't know. But he's a teacher, didn't know that. And also Tommaso's a teacher. So I find it very interesting. Two teachers in a rock band. Very interesting. But so far, neither of these men have been arrested as suspects. Once again, law officials were at Nancy's house today. They were all over the house, front door, outside, garage, back of the house, guest house. And I'm assuming, they're reenacting things, working things out in their head. Don't know if these are investigators with the district attorney's office, but people were in suits and also plain clothes. I won't doubt they're going over everything. Now, I'm going to say this. If the district attorney was there, these were district attorney detectives, they might be on to somebody. And they're making us believe the case is cold. Because with all the flim-flam back and forth with nanos and FBI, and allegedly they're not getting along, DNA not being enough to go into CODIS, you really don't know what is what. I also read before going live, a neighbor says that some young guy was strangely walking through the neighborhood 2 weeks before Nancy disappeared, said he was walking near the intersection of her house, but that doesn't really tell you anything. Intersection. She said his hat was pulled down. Maybe it was hot. I don't know. What kind of hat was he wearing? Ball cap? Toboggan? What? People do have a right to walk. Can't tell people where they can. But she's saying he didn't fit. Don't know if this is just another nosy Karen making up stuff. But she didn't report it to police. Naturally, it was 2 weeks ago. But now she's talking about it. But see, the point is it relevant? Because people do have the right to walk. We also learned from Brian Enton, there's an underground tunnel where there's graffiti on the wall and different things where people are loitering, squatting. Could have been a homeless person walking through. Because homeless people get around. I live in a transient city, town, and homeless people are everywhere, all over the place. They're walking, loitering, sleeping, public bus stops, all of that. So they get around. They get around. Public transportation, any type of way they can. So for all we know, this was just a random person walking. Could be somebody lost, could have been visiting someone. And once again, it could be a transient person. Can't say. That's the latest developments pertaining to Dominic Evans. He's decided to come forward and speak to the New York Times to tell the world about how he's been hounded, how his child was in fear. And I wouldn't wish this on anyone with children, because that's something that a lot of you have not thought about. The fact that he has a child. Now you know he has a child, he has a wife, and they were living in fear. Now I wonder if the wife was wondering if he was involved. Because naturally when the person's name comes up, how could you not suspect them? Not saying you should, but just saying that small little voice that may say, wonder if this is true. Would he do this? Is he capable of this? But as you heard in the commentary, allegedly, Tommaso briefly mentioned that he was married to the older sister just in passing. I don't guess he dwelled on the situation of being married to a famous person, famous relative of a famous person. Does he have any knowledge? Does he know anything? Don't know. Everyone's entitled to his or her opinion. I've been comparing eyes as well. It's to the point where it's daunting now, trying to compare eyes, mouth, nose. But I always say that usually the person is right there in plain sight. I've brought about every theory I can think of. Sexual assault, delivery person, somebody that's come to the house to work. And another theory I came up with this evening. Could it be that somebody was going through the neighborhood looking for a target, and they noticed this older lady walking into her house, perhaps barely moving, barely walking, being dropped off, persons going up to the front door or to the garage carrying things, and they watched. Then they drove back through, didn't see any movement at the house, came back at night, no movement at the house, came back the next day, a couple of days later, no movement at the house, nobody coming and going, no cars in the drive, no cars in the front of the house, circular drive. And they put two and two together that, okay, I think there's an elderly person living here alone with no one visiting, no one coming and going, nobody staying there. Because you always have to remember there are people out here who do this for a living. They target people's houses to break in. We got information that this person possibly visited more than once at Nancy's house. Don't know which day it was, if it was in January or the day before the first, don't know. There's no timestamp. But let's say she was targeted by a random person. Because we saw this with Brian Korberger and the Idaho 4. He did not know these girls. He did not know Ethan. He was not friends with them. He wasn't friends with their friends. But he saw these girls on social media or somewhere and became fascinated and then obsessed with one or more. So could this be the same? Somebody chose her as a target, did not know her, but saw her and just assumed she was a lonely, or not lonely, but just an elderly person living alone, and there was no coming and going. Also, she was on that app Next Door. I believe I was on that app a few years ago, This is where you talk about things going on in your neighborhood. I recommend that some of you get on the app. That way you can keep up with what's going on in your neighborhood. Don't know what she posted, didn't post. Watched a video earlier that was misleading. They're trying to say she posted back in December. But my understanding that was 2021, not 2025. But I did question, when did Nancy purchase the Nest cameras? So I'd like an answer on that. When did she actually purchase the Nest cameras? And why was there no ADT alarm system or some form of an alarm? When was the last time she posted to Nextdoor? When was the last time she posted to social media, IG, X? What platforms was she on? Could it be she said something on a platform that could have enraged a person? Because you do have people who like to dox people and follow them on social media and get in their inboxes and say things to them. This is why I always tell you all why you shouldn't use your government name when you are on platform. And naturally, we know that you use your government name on either your IG, Facebook, X, and or YouTube. I recommend you don't do that. You're not working for the Eyewitness News. There's no need of you using your damn government name, because you say one thing politically about Biden, Trump, the firemen, this, that, and the other. Next thing you know, you got somebody in your damn inbox trying to send you messages telling you they don't like what you said. And then too, a lot of you have personal information on your Facebook profile that shows married, single, mommy, daddy, work for United States government, postal service, such and such grade school. Take that shit down. Take it down. I get it. You want to show your accomplishments, but your accomplishments can lead to somebody pushing in your door. Somebody paying you a visit at work, coming home from work, coming home from the gym. See, a lot of you just don't think. I learned the hard way by covering these cases, how people want to get in your inbox, talk crazy to you, but you know Queen is good at giving it back. Grandfather of some missing children decided to get in my inbox when I tried to have another page for my YouTube channel, and basically was calling me nasty names and all kind of stuff. And I let him know, baby, you got the wrong one. Because see, had you all been caring for those kids, they would not have became a national story of missing children deemed dead children. Checkmate. So you want to get mad at somebody, you get mad at your damn self. You get mad at the fact that none of you black ass heathens were able to take care of the children. Why didn't DHS give you all the children? So you can't come for Queen. And I let them know I can touch down California soil any day and sit on a bench with a hoodie. Try me. I'm not somebody you want to mess with. See, this is what people do. They try to intimidate you. But you have to let them know you don't easily intimidate. I said to myself then, this is the very reason those children were in the care of the Department of Human Services, because you all ain't nothing but a bunch of black ass thugs. I said that and I meant that. Just a bunch of heathens that weren't hitting on a damn thing, trying to help nobody with no kids, because you all are just some old thugs. Now, where is this case going? I have no idea. I had no plans to talk about Nancy Guthrie today, but I saw this information tonight. I decided to put it on the wire. If he is innocent, amen. Because that'd be a terrible thing to be accused of a crime. And it'll be terrible if he's guilty and whoever's guilty. But somebody knows who this person is. And I believe this person cannot be considered a murderer. That's my opinion. We can stop shucking and jiving and pretending that this lady is alive. I would love to say that Nancy is alive, but there has been no proof of life, and there has been no information from FBI or the sheriff's department to show that this lady is alive. Once again, $1 million award offered up by the Guthrie family. If you have any information, call the FBI, please. I'm praying for an arrest. I'm praying for an ending to this story because it's daunting to keep digesting and regurgitating the same information over and over. But you can only go with what has been told to you. Now, let's get down to business. David. You have got to be sitting awfully scared wherever you are. Where are you, David? Are you in Texas with mommy and daddy? You think mommy and daddy are going to protect you? I say no. And whoever is still aiding David, you little ugly friends, honey, you need to get it together. This is how you want to end your little youth? Hanging with a little animated murderer? You need to find something to do with your time. This is really sad to me. Pathetic, quite frankly. What young people do to get themselves wrapped up in turmoil. Weak-minded followers, not leaders. This is how you end up incarcerated. And I will not feel sorry for anybody that has aided him in unaliving Celeste Rivas Hernandez. You get nothing from Queen. Absolutely nothing. Law and crime is the source of this information. I'm going to break up in between for copyright reasons. I'll also put the link in the chat near the end of this commentary for anybody who wants to come up on the panel to discuss Dominic Evans and also David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez and the information relayed to law and crime by private investigator Steve Fisher. Somebody's getting ready to eat crow with this information that has been released. Now let's see who's going to talk SHIT now, because the news I'm about to bring you is quite devastating. And it is what most of us thought what had happened to Celeste Rivas. Lord have mercy, God help us. Justice for Ms. Rivas Hernandez and anybody involved in this said crime. Hello, Linda. How are you? Thank you for joining me, dear. Thank you for the gift. God bless you, honey.
Little case being pursued against in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And unfortunately, these documents also reveal apparent new and disturbing details about her December 5th. Well, so, presented by the Crime. By the way, if you're into content creation, if you're putting things out on social media,
oh, always breaking up with this stuff.
Here's the big part. You've heard reports of a grand jury being impaneled. You've heard reports of David being considered a suspect, but nothing official. There's been so much that authorities haven't been revealing about this investigation. But right now, Steve Fisher, the private investigator who had been investigating this case on the ground, demanding justice, who may have testified in front of the grand jury itself, by the way, but we can't officially confirm that. And by the way, he represents the owner of the house where David was reportedly staying near where the Tesla was found. He just dropped not only huge bombshells about this case on X, but he just gave us 150 pages of court filings that have revealed a lot of new information. We have learned more about Celeste's body, and we have learned that there is a real case against David for murder. So let me lay out first what he posted on X, and then we'll discuss the actual file. First, Steve wrote, in a petition for attendance to compel David family members to appear before a grand jury, it's disclosed that Celeste Rivas Hernandez's head and torso were found in a cadaver bag, her severed arms and legs in a second bag. David Burke, David, is the target of the grand jury for one count of murder. And when you read,
let's stop right there. Welcome to the Vote Excel, everybody. So all this arguing back and forth in the fall of 2025 pertaining to the body being dissolved down to where you couldn't decide what had happened to her, that she had been in there a while, which I don't know what you consider a while, 3 weeks, a month, 5 months, 6 months. We still don't know. But Steve says he knows who parked the Tesla around the corner. He is yet to reveal that person. I won't doubt it's probably that little mop head friend of David that didn't want to testify, Leo, whoever he is. So now you hear it live like Memorex. Head and torso in bag number 1. Arms and legs in bag number 2. Bag stacked on top of another bag. So I'm trying to understand if we're getting this information and it's factual. I better say if. If this is factual, how is it that you all were confused about the remains? You all act like this was a magic trick. This is really pissing me off because you all were arguing relentlessly when there's 2 separate bags. How could there be confusion? Man, I'm getting pissed off. It's a difference if she was in one bag and badly decomposed, because you're also talking about hot heat inside of a metal car. Okay, one body in one bag. Okay, you could say, oh, I can't tell, shit from Shinola. But 2 bags, you're confused? Help Angela understand. How can you be confused with 2 separate bags? Hello, Brooke. Bag 1, bag 2, and yet you all were arguing. Police, medical examiner, arguing over frozen, not frozen. Okay, now I'm waiting to hear that part, which I didn't hear none of that mentioned in this commentary. We'll get to that another date. But I don't see how you can argue if she was dismembered or not when there are 2 bags in the damn car. And anybody with some sense that's dealt with dead people, you open bag number 1. Oh, it smells bad. Oh, let's see what's in bag number 2. Oh, it smells bad too. Where's the confusion? Help me understand. Where is the confusion? 2 separate cadaver bags. And the fact that cadaver was used, stay woke. So we now know they weren't plastic bags from Target or Lowe's or Target or Walmart. Pay attention, everybody. So you deliberately went and bought some bags that mimic cadaver bags, David. And where did you order them from? Temu. Pay attention, everybody, because see, this is how you get befuddled. I had to listen to that again. Cadaver bags. Meaning, you only put in a cadaver bag when the medical examiner and the ambulance people come. That's not what was said. She already in cadaver bag. Now, if this is not correct, I'll correct you.
From the screenshot that
go back
from murder. So let me lay out first what he posted on X, and then we'll discuss the actual file. First, Steve wrote, in a petition for attendance to compel David family members to appear before a grand jury, it's disclosed that Celeste Rivas Hernandez's head and torso were found in a cadaver bag, her severed arms and legs in a second bag. David Burke, David, is the target of the grand jury for 1 count of murder.
Bingo card. Head, torso in a cadaver bag, meaning this was not a bag you buy from the grocery store to put your trash in. This sounds intentional to Angela. And what did I tell you all about most states? They don't really care how you got in the bag, what you did and didn't do to get in the bag. The point is you in there. Oh, wait a minute. You in there cut up. Oh, you also cut up in another bag. Come on with it, Queen. Oh, wait a minute. You also cut up in 2 bags in somebody's car. You cut up in 2 different bags in a trunk in a car that ain't been reported stolen. I rest my damn case. Let's finish this.
To read from the screenshot that he posted, and we'll talk about this more from the actual filing. People of the state of California v. David Burke. Nathan Hockman at the top, so that's the LA County District Attorney. That's Silverman's the assistant DA. We've mentioned her too, so this is confirming there is
Major Crimes Division.
They are the prosecutors, including her. Saw her coming in and out of court before. And then the filing states that there is now pending in the Superior Court of the County of Los Angeles the above entitled grand jury investigation by the state of California against target David Burke, wherein target may be involved in having committed the following criminal offenses against the laws of the state of California, to wit, 1 count of murder. This is big. This is big because it was always a question of whether or not they were really investigating him and gathering evidence regarding a murder charge. And when I looked it up, when I look at that penal code under California law, murder is the unlawful killing of a human being or a fetus with malice of forethought, basically an intentional killing. So while there are theories out there that, let's say, Celeste had died as an accident, let's say Celeste died from a drug overdose, it was just an instance of trying to dismember her body or dispose of her body or hide her body. Remember, at one point we heard from authorities maybe there was nothing beyond just the removal of her body that was being investigated. Maybe that was the only charge. Not the case. Now they believe they have enough evidence to support a murder charge that he intentionally killed her. And then it goes on to say how you have the 3 witnesses summoned by California are DeWood, Colleen, and Caleb Burke. So his dad, his mom, and his younger adult age brother. And the information that's attached to Steve Fisher's tweet is in reference to DeWood Burke's court paperwork. It says, quote, that if DeWood Burke comes into the state of California in obedience to a summons directing him to attend and testify at said grand jury investigation, the laws of the state of California and of any other state through which he may be required to pass by the ordinary course of travel to attend such proceedings shall give him protection from arrest in the service of process, civil or criminal, in connection with matters which arose before his entrance into said state pursuant to such summons, that DeWood Burke is an adult, that the prosecution will provide the witness a round-trip airplane ticket and transportation to and from the airport, wherefore it is requested for on behalf of the state of California that your honor certify to the above foregoing by the issuance of certificate thereto under the seal of Superior Court of Record in the state of California to compel the attendance of DeWood Burke as a witness at the grand jury investigation on the date and time set forth pursuant to law. Basically,
115-26. DeWood, y'all can quit calling him David. D4vd, sick of hearing that. DeWood, named after his daddy. His daddy named DeWood, whatever the hell that means. DeWood, Queen want to know, you gonna show up or you done showed up? What you gonna do? Cause Mama and Daddy and Bubby, they don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't know how. That's what you told investigators. We don't know her. We never met her. So Queen has a question. DeWood, did you ever take Celeste out to Texas to meet your family? Who all has met Celeste Rivas Hernandez through DeWood Burke? Hello, no perspective. Thank you. Who, how many have met this young girl through DeWood? What our little famous friend used to say, oh, you in trouble. Yeah, bro, you in trouble. 6 months, 5 months, they coming for you. Bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boy. And Mom and Daddy, just like typical hood rats. Oh, we don't want to go to the grand jury. We got stuff to do. See, I knew something was wrong with the mother the day the SWAT call came in and they went to their house And law officials were banging on the door, banging on the door. Then she finally came out. Both of them came to the door talking to law officials. And then hell, next thing you know, she done shut the damn door in front of the officer. I said, look at this heifer. This lady is crazy. Just gonna shut the damn door. See, I asked all the right questions. Why did you move to Texas in the first place? I got a feeling you were living out in the middle of no man's land in Texas. Why? I want to know how you taught your child. I want to know why he was homeschooled, because obviously DeWood didn't get the proper education that he needed, and I won't doubt that's the same for that other baby brother. And there's also a sister living in your household. I think somebody needs to investigate the parents. They need to check out your living arrangements. I said that. Because I'd hate to find out we got some more bad apples that might decide to fall from a tree.
Outlining that he is needed to be a witness in this case, and that if he follows it and he shows up, he's not going to be arrested and charged. Got this other post from Steve. Quote, court transcripts show that detectives...
Before I get to this, Steve Fisher, DeWood, are you going to show up? Because you know he's scared. I don't care what that document say. Hey, we're not going to arrest you. We're going to fly you in, fly you out. We're going to give you a hotel. He's still scared. That Negro don't care nothing about no free airline tickets. Him scared. Because that's the first thing he going to think. This a trap. This a trap to get me out there. They're going to lock me up, Mama, Daddy. I don't want to get locked up. David, did you tell your parents what you did to Celeste Rivas Hernandez? That's what I like to know. See, that's why they don't want to go out there. Baby, that's the law. Deal with it. You ain't nobody special. You done created a little boy, half girl. I said that. And I meant it. You done procreated a half boy, half girl, confused. Don't know if you want to be a woman or a man. And he's sitting somewhere real sick because he realized that Olympus has fallen. Checkmate. So, David, have you told your parents about why a Hispanic girl was found in your damn trunk? Why you were dealing with a child? Why you were essaying a child? Because what parent would not ask their son, what the hell were you doing with a 14-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old? The hell's wrong with you? We didn't raise you to be this way. Why was she in your company? Why did you seek her out? What the F is wrong with you? Where? What? Where? Why? What? Did you unalive this child? Oh yeah, I'd been on his ass. Matter of fact, David probably wouldn't be alive because I probably would have beat him to sleep. I said that. As a grown woman, I would have whooped my child's ass. I don't care that you're a grown man. I'd have beat you down. I would have beat you down. As soon as I heard a dead girl was found in your trunk, LA would not have to be worried about you because I would have beat your ass. Now that's old black folk talk. Now these other black folks that's mangy, they don't mind aiding a pedophile. I do. Because I'd have whooped his ass. I'd have beat him down and made sure, listen to me good, I'd have called 911. You can come pick him up. You can come pick him up. I got a delivery, a package for you. Because ain't no way I'm going to aid no pedophile. Not now, not never. See, a lot of people aid their children in mischievousness and foolishness and crimes. This man's been sleeping with a child. You can't talk to Big Queen about nothing. I don't care about I gave birth to you. What can you say to me about why you were essaying a kid? Nothing.
the LAPD robbery homicide division were in Texas to escort David's parents to Los Angeles to testify about what they know about the suspicion that their son murdered and dismembered a 14-year-old girl. Hashtag monsters, hashtag Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And Steve also posted a portion of the transcript for me. Texas court where attorneys from Berks were arguing that their clients wanted to make sure that everything was in order and they knew about everything before they went to Los Angeles. And we're going to talk about this more. But that part of the transcript reads, and again, LAPD detectives are here to make sure they get flight, they get a hotel, they get room and lodging, that it will not cause undue hardship to them, and that the court issue those subpoenas on behalf of California. And then the judge says, okay, Mr. Martinez, yes, Your Honor, if I may just take a step back and advise the court of what we actually received this afternoon. Okay, we received from the state request of the state of California a subpoena for Colleen and DeWood Burke. Notification from the judge in California where it states that there is an affidavit attached from the Assistant District Attorney of Los Angeles, and we have the attestation from the clerk, and we have an affidavit from an Assistant District Attorney of Los Angeles, but it has been redacted. Now I'm going to get more into exactly why this is significant in just a second. By the way, as we think about them testifying, what would they testify? We'll talk about that too. But also would they plead the fifth, right? Something to think about. Here's another post from Steve. Quote, a Waller County, Texas court compelled David's parents and brother to travel to Los Angeles to appear before the grand jury on February 11, 2026. That decision was appealed and a writ of habeas corpus was then filed on February 3rd, which was denied. They've appeared before the judge, most likely invoking the fifth, but that is speculation on my part. Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So see, thinks the same thing I do. And that's
gonna break right there. So they've appeared in court already because we're already at the 25th February, about to approach the 26th, and they possibly did invoke their Fifth Amendment right. But what is there to invoke? You want to get this onward and move on. What do you look like going to the courthouse saying, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth? For what? You don't know nothing, you ain't done nothing, but just tell the truth. Sir, do you know this young lady? No. Ma'am, do you know this young lady? No. Ask the brother. You know this young lady? No. You ever met her? No. Mom, dad? No. Did you ever talk about her? No. Seen pictures of her? No. Then you get your ass on out of there and go back to Texas. What's the big deal? So I'd like to know, did these people plead the fifth? Since everybody is running away from the court, don't you find this interesting that Neo, his other little boyfriend, girlfriend, didn't want to go to court, and they had to go seize him up from his mama's house. Now we got these little black minions. They don't want to go. They didn't want to go before the court, but they had to appear the third. Okay, so where does DeWood fit into this? Has he been brought into the LA court to give information pertaining to Celeste Rivas Hernandez? Because I can see him being scared and not wanting to appear for the fear of being arrested. But as you hear in these court filings, we are not going to arrest you, DeWood Burke. We just want to talk to you. We just want to talk to you. We just want you to testify. We promise we won't put handcuffs on you, sir. We'll let you go after we ask you a few questions. See, this is what happens when you play games in life. You walk around acting as if you are better than people, other people. You're a narcissist, sociopath, and you think your SHIT don't stink. And the universe comes back. See, this is what people don't understand about the devil. He don't pay you nothing. What you're getting is temporary. This clout, narcissism, sociopathic, psychopathic ways, it's temporary. There will be a payday. And that's what's happening here for DeWood Burke. It's time to pay the piper. And he knows this. Mommy, daddy, brother knows this. Neo knows this. This other Asian chick, she knows this. You all been playing childish games. And you know about what happens when you play childish games. You win foolish prizes. But he gets arrested, that won't be a foolish prize. That will be a grand prize. Shut your mouth.
That tweet included part of court document, which reads, the court ordered Mr. Burke to appeal before the California grand jury on February 11, 2026. A written habeas corpus was filed on February 3rd. The writ challenged the ex parte nature of the proceedings, cited deprivation of due process, incorrect application of Article 24.28, and incorrect finding that Mr. Burke's testimony was material and necessary. The court denied the writ on the merits. Again, we're going to talk about that. But to cap off these bombshell revelations about the Davis case, Steve actually shared more than 150 pages from Texas courts laying out what happened. And with that file came a long statement from this private investigator. Quote, Celeste Rivas Hernandez deserves better. It's infuriating that we're approaching 6 months and no charges have been filed in her murder. If the evidence hasn't been secured by now, what exactly is happening? Is this a blown investigation? We now know these monsters sawed off Celeste's arms and legs. Let's not call it dismemberment. That word sounds clinical, like a surgeon removed her limb. This is not what happened. A vicious, sick group of people brutally hacked her arms and legs off her body. Was she alive when they started? And yes, I'm using plural terms because in my professional opinion, there is no way one person did this alone, whether participating directly or acting as an accessory. Yet only one individual named as a target in court filings. Like you, Neo Christopher Langston, you knew. I've seen family members publicly defend him and threaten lawsuits against anyone who names him. Sue me. I beg, please sue me. Give me subpoena power. Give me the power of discovery because that may be the only way the truth comes out. I beg you, file that defamation suit. How do people like David, Neo, and Asia live with themselves? 6 months, no charges, no press conference. An LAPD and the district attorney's office did issue a press release stating they had the medical examiner's autopsy and investigative findings sealed so detectives could review them first, claiming it was not meant to undermine transparency. They got that information, yet the records remained sealed. That press release misled the public. That press release was a lie. Another press release suggested the only potential criminal culpability might be concealment of the body. Or they said that knowing Celeste's arms and legs had been sawed off. Right. You came out with that press release knowing what had been done to her.
Right.
If they do not have enough evidence to charge those responsible, then they need to say that plainly. Admit that after nearly 6 months, the investigation has not produced sufficient evidence to charge David Anthony Burke or anyone else who participated or was an accessory. Admit it's a blown investigation. Admit that important evidence was left behind after the search warrant. Admit that critical surveillance was lost because nobody followed up to obtain it. Celeste's head and torso were placed in one cadaver bag. Her arms and legs were placed in another. Someone purchased cadaver bags, cut her apart, placed her remains inside those bags, put her in the trunk of Tesla, and went on with their lives. They purchased cadaver bags. And to the extent of purchasing cadaver bags. Still, 6 months later, there are no charges, no accountability, silence, sealed record. Threaten you with contempt all you want. I will proudly take that contempt charge for the pursuit of justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. 6 months is enough. Do your sworn duty or admit the case was failed. We need to let the LAPD and the DA's office know we are mad and this is not acceptable, and I wish her family would do the same. Here is the full 151-page court filing for anyone willing to read it. David Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Well, I reread it, so I'm going to go through it, but obviously he's upset, understandably so. And while we do not know what is going on behind the scenes or whether or not they are about to issue an indictment or whether or not anyone's about to be arrested, you can understand his frustration and how long this is going on, and if it seems that it's just David, they may be going after. But I want to go through these court documents, try to make sense of what we're seeing. So, first, we have this petition on behalf of the Woodburn. Again, this is David's father. We've talked about this before. It's an unusual filing. It's a habeas petition. Usually we see habeas petitions when someone's already been convicted, they're in prison, they're trying to say that their detention is unlawful, that there's new evidence that's come out, they're trying to get their conviction thrown out in the trial. This one's a little different. But basically the argument is they're saying that the family members' rights are being violated, to have to testify, to be compelled, to be transported to another state to provide testimony. And this was filed out in Waller County, Texas. There's an order from January 18th for Colleen Burke, over here, to appear before the Texas court to explain why she shouldn't have to appear before the grand jury in LA, why she shouldn't have to comply with the subpoena. You go to page 13, I want to bring your attention to the actual subpoena that was issued to DeWood Burke from Nathan Hoffman, signed by Beth Silverman, ordering DeWood to appear before the grand jury in LA on February 11th. So you're not even just seeing Steve's interpretation of the filings. This is direction of Steve. These are actual court documents. And in this subpoena, it is explained to DeWood that the grand jury is secret. Don't tell anyone about it. Page 15, there's a court document. It's from Judge Craig Richmond, judge of the Superior Court in LA, certifying there is a grand jury proceeding in the case of David Burke, that Silverman is requesting DeWood to appear and provide material and necessary testimony. What could that be? We don't know exactly for sure. I'll get a little bit more into it. Maybe it's just the family saying, yeah.
And it says the people of the state of California versus plaintiff David Burke, target. Certificate of judge of requesting state for attendance of out-of-state witness. Above that, grand jury investigation case number GJ25-26, I believe that's 16. Yeah. That's what it says. So this is the real deal. David Burke, little ways over from your name says target. We've been hearing that word a lot, haven't we?
That was his passport. It was registered there. But again, going back, that DeWood would get round trip airline tickets, transportation. But now I want to get into the document that Steve took a screenshot of. It is a petition for attendance of out-of-state witness. They were filed for Colleen, Caleb, and DeWood, with the main crux of the filings being the same, but there's some slight differences that we'll get into. But this is the real details about the case that we want to get into. Quote, it is alleged in this case that the target may be involved in the death of 14-year-old victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who may have been a victim of foul play. Her severely decomposed, dismembered body, mixed reporting on whether it was dismembered body, was found in the front trunk of Target's Tesla on September 8th, 2025. On September 8th, 2025, at approximately 10:30 hours, Los Angeles Police Department detectives received a phone call from the manager of Hollywood Area Official Police Garage. The manager stated a black Tesla Model X had been impounded as an abandoned vehicle by the Department of Transportation on September 5th, 2025. The manager told police there was a strong smell of decay coming from the vehicle, which was attracting flies. LAPD detectives responded to the Hollywood tow yard to investigate. Detectives approached the vehicle, which was parked on the upper deck of the impound lot, and immediately noticed the smell of decaying biological material consistent with a decomposing corpse coming from the front storage compartment of the vehicle. Detectives obtained a search warrant for the vehicle, and when the front storage compartment was opened, detectives observed a black cadaver bag covered with insects and a strong odor of decay. Utilizing black latex gloves, detectives partially unzipped the bag and observed a decomposed head and torso. Investigators and criminalists from the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner responded to the tow yard to process the decomposed body. Upon removing the cadaver bag from the front storage compartment, it was discovered the arms and legs had been severed from the body. A second black bag was discovered underneath the cadaver bag. Upon opening the second bag, the dismembered body parts were discovered. Detectives were advised that on August 26, 2025, a citizen reported the above-mentioned Tesla as an abandoned vehicle parked across from 1405 Bluebird Street. On August 27, 2025, Department of Transportation officers responded to Bluebird and marked the vehicle. On September 3rd, 2025, Department of Transportation returned to the vehicle and issued a citation. On September 5th, 2025, Department of Transportation impounded the vehicle at the Hollywood Area Tow. It was noted that the Tesla was registered to target David Anthony Burke in Hempstead, Texas. David, who was a singer and performing artist, was on tour at the time his vehicle was impounded. And then the next section is different for each witness, so you have differences between affidavits seen further down, like Caleb. Detectives learned that Caleb Burke is the younger brother of target David Burke and has a close relationship with him. Detectives learned that Colleen Burke is the mother of target David Burke and has a close relationship with him. For several witnesses, she is instrumental to his career success and manages his business finances. Detectives learned that DeWood Burke, the father of target David Burke, and has a close relationship with him. And then there's a large chunk of text that is redacted too. Just want to make note of that. From there, we have this application for writ of habeas corpus. So the basic argument is that under Texas law, a court can only force a resident to testify in another state after there is a meaningful hearing, meaningful notice, that the argument is DeWood and maybe everybody else here, the other family members, never saw the full documents that would justify them going to LA to have to testify. There's not enough to justify them going there. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole legal argument to get the main idea. No one should be confined or restrained, especially in prison, if they don't comply with the subpoena unless they have meaningful notice, a meaningful understanding of what all this is about. But later on, you'll see there was an order by the court where that writ of habeas corpus was denied. Now, there's more, but those are some of the pertinent parts we have so far up to page 50. We go further into this file. There's a section in this file called transcript and exhibit. This is important. I'm talking about. And it contains the petitions to appear again, as well as transcripts from multiple hearings. So the first hearing was in Waller County, Texas, January 23rd, 2026. And this one only concerned Colleen and Caleb. They were there, not Wood for some reason. Plus, you had two LAPD homicide detectives who testified if it was needed. Mia Magnus represented Texas as well as California, basically by proxy. She told the court, quote, "So, Judge, I'm stepping into this last minute as well, but my understanding is that there is a grand jury investigation that is being conducted in California and Los Angeles County. These two individuals have been summoned to appear for purposes of the grand jury presentation. The prosecutors in Los Angeles have executed all the paperwork that is necessary. It was done before, I believe, they called us the Superior Court judge there, who has signed off and done all the necessary certifications. So under Texas law, Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 24.28, which is the Uniform Act to secure attendance of witnesses from without the state, are now before you for the court to make a determination that California has complied with the rules that would authorize the Texas court, you being the district court judge, to review the paperwork and then order that these witnesses appear before the grand jury in California." Then you had Kit Schaefer, who represents David's mother, had this to say, quote, "So on behalf of Colleen Burke, our position is that the request or the summons and the request for issuance of the subpoena is unconstitutional in violation of Texas and the United States constitutions, and that it denies the witness, Colleen Burke, notice and due process, in as much as Article 24.28, Section B, which governs, says that the court has to make a determination that the witness is material and necessary, and that it will not cause undue hardship to be compelled to attend and testify. All we have been served with so far is a notice to appear here today. So it is virtually impossible for us to address materiality and necessity when we don't even know what the subject matter is that would be explored with our client. But Magnus argued that the determination about materiality of these witnesses, that was already made by a California judge. So all the Texas judge needs to do was just make sure the paperwork is all in order, tell the witnesses they need to go. And the judge said that actually, since this was so last minute, he doesn't even have any of that paperwork. So they end up deciding to reschedule the hearing for several days later. And at that February 2nd hearing in Texas, you have Colleen, Caleb, and Wood. They were all there with counsel. Bennett Dodson is the assistant DA of Waller County. Told the court, "I don't think it's a secret to anyone at this point that Mr. David Burke, as a physician, is quite famous. And this matter concerns a car that was registered to him at these witnesses' address here in Houston that had a dismembered, decomposing body. I would say if a car with a dismembered, decomposing body is registered to your home address, that is something you should expect to be questioned by the authorities about. And that's what this is, Judge."
Well,
so there you go. There you go. That's probably what they'd be forced to testify about. But the attorneys for David's family members argue that everyone involved, both California and Texas court, the judges, the prosecutors, they had seen the unredacted affidavit. But their clients, they only got the redacted version. So it's limited. And they wouldn't know what's in there. They wouldn't know what's in that big blacked out section of the petition. And again, goes back to the legal argument. Hey, we have the right to know what this is all about under habeas before relinquishing our freedom, right, to go and testify. So you had Dodson say that most of that information in the affidavit is not a secret. It's already known to the public, saying, quote, "It's all over TMZ." Goes on to say, "The redacted information concerns knowledge that is only known to the grand jury, period. It has not been distributed anywhere." What was the judge's decision? Here's from the court, quote, "But even when I look at it myself, I still think these witnesses are material and necessary because of the relationship that's involved with the witnesses and the defendant. So my ruling is going to be that they are to go to California and honor the subpoena by California." And the judge read out the official summons, Colleen to Wood, Caleb scheduled to appear before the grand jury on February 10th, to Wood, Colleen, February 11th, with LA prosecutors paying for the round trip airline tickets, transportation to and from court for all three. There you go. Some new information, seemingly some confirmations of material that we haven't had in quite some time. Obviously, we will stay on this case as we learn more. That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for
News Nation. Excuse me, not News Nation. Law and Crime. Sorry about that. So you just say News Nation. All right, Law and Crime Network is the source of that information. The link is in the chat. If you'd like to come up and join the Queen and share your perspective, opinion of this two-part live. At the beginning of this live stream, we talked about Dominic Evans. He is an associate of Tommaso Scione. He has decided to speak to the New York Times about being hounded by media, sleuths, docs, people putting out his personal information of his home, those vultures circling around his property, naming him as the suspect pertaining to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. That is at the beginning of the live. Feel free to go back to replay to digest that information. Second part of this live, the main pooba of the evening, DeWood Burke, better known as D4vd. His parents basically did not want to go testify. Colleen and DeWood and their son Caleb. But as the attorney said in Texas, David's car is registered to your address. Why would we not want? Why would the district attorney in LA not want you to attend court? Very interesting. Exactly. And even now that I think about that, okay, the car being registered to that address in Texas, I think I didn't remember that. Okay, so maybe this is why the stupid person, DeWood, parked the car around the corner thinking nobody's going to think anything because it's got Texas tags, number one, and the car is registered to an out-of-state address. Ding, 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 ding. But what he forgot is that you were linked to this young lady. You've taken pictures with this lady. You've been on live streams with this lady, young girl. So the ties still bind. But this goes back to narcissism. Oh, they won't know it's me. I don't live at this house. This house isn't in my name. So now that I sit here and think about it, I could now see why they parked the car around the corner. He parked the car around the corner because it had a Texas license plate on it. And he didn't think anybody would link him to that car and the girl in the car. Why? I don't know. Because in the end, it doesn't matter if the tag had New York, Idaho, Florida, your name is on the damn car. DeWood. But this is what happens when you're stupid. You're so stupid you can't think straight. Oh, move the car around the corner. Won't nobody know. Nobody will know anything. Just we'll park it around the corner. And see, this is what's interesting as well. You never reported your own car stolen. So it doesn't really matter, like I said, where the car came from, where it was bought, the tag on the car. The point is, ding, 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 it belongs to you, to Woodburn, and you never reported the car stolen. And to this day, February 2026, I have yet to hear you reported your car stolen. So how are you getting around up until you decided to go on tour, which I believe it was what, the same day, next day? Oh, that's right. You wouldn't need your car. I think that's why the car got moved around the corner. Because you got information that you're going to be rolling the high seas. So I'll move this car with this dead girl in it. Voila, done. Until the car started being noticed by neighbors. One person saying they smelled something from the car. And I'm still confused at the person who was writing tickets, or shall I say persons. How's it that you all were putting tickets on a car and the dead girl would be assumingly in the car all these times that tickets were written on the car? Help the Queen understand, because I'm lost. You're up close to a car and you don't smell decomposition 2 times, 3 times? People walking by smelling something, thinking it's a dead animal. But yet it gets to the tow yard and it's there a few days, and then all of a sudden somebody goes up to the car and they smell something, which still don't make any sense because somebody had to tow the car. Come on with the Queen mistake. Somebody thinks you're slow. So we've got people ticketing the car. They don't smell decomposition. We've got a person who comes to tow the car. He don't smell decomposition. And then it sits at the tow yard a few days and somebody goes up by the car and then he smells decomposition. Bingo! Hot damn. Somebody's nose open. Literally. Make it make sense. So we're all just walking around in a daze about this damn Tesla. I don't smell anything. I don't know what to say. We live in an oblivious world because I don't know how many stories where I have heard people say, oh, I walked by that car in the parking garage at the airport and I smelled something in there. And somebody called 911 and the police came and popped their trunk and voila, there's a deceased person in there, in the trunk, in the car. So I just find it so strange. We've got this missing kid that nobody cared about. She is somehow dismembered, put in a trunk in different bags, 2 cadaver bags, meaning somebody purposely bought them to put her in them. And everybody and their mama is walking by, running, walking, hiking, dogs, all of that. Still nobody calls 911 to say, hey, there's something leaking, something ripe in this car. And all these people are walking by the car, tickets being written on the car, tow man tows the car, and still nothing said until it sits a few days at the tow yard. Help Queen understand, because that's a mystery that doesn't make any sense to me either. So here you have it. These people allegedly went to court in LA for the grand jury hearings. The parents wanted to know what was in the blacked out parts of the indictment, other documents, and it was told to them, it's none of your business. It's secret information. And I think it's very disrespectful for you all to sit up here and go into a courtroom and play dumb as if you don't know why you're there and why it's relevant for you all to attend court. Are you serious? As you heard the lawyers say, it's all over TMZ. Right. TMZ is the delivery of good news. And yet these dodo birds want to go in and play with the judge, play with the district attorney. I don't know why we're here. I don't know why these people in California want to talk to us. We don't know nothing. And get a lawyer too. Hire a lawyer. Okay, big bucks. You done hired an attorney to spend some money and still have to carry your ass to California. Checkmate. Oh, how I love the judicial system. You coming to California one way or the other. How you want to go? You want to fly Southwest or you want to come by Patty Wag? Come on with it, Queen. I'll take Southwest for 100, Alex. Just stupid. Self-entitled. I see where DeWood gets his demeanor and disposition. He gets it from mommy and daddy. I said that to you all months ago. The way the mother behaved the night the deputies came to the house and she shut the door in their face after they were trying to talk to her. Self-entitled. I don't know why you're here. I ain't got nothing. I ain't done nothing. I don't know who called the law. Ain't nobody shooting over here. Shut the damn door. Now look at you. Months later, you had to go fly out and give information. And who are you to tell the court what you know and don't know? That's why they want you there, to ask you directly what you know and don't know. very honoring. But see, this is what you need to hear so you can grasp a hold of what you're dealing with this David character, DeWood Burke. He's honorary, and he comes from honorary parents. So he learned self-entitlement. Now, just because a person is honoring, feels self-entitled, it doesn't mean that they will actually be a murderer. But we've learned that a murderer usually feels self-entitled, narcissistic, and sociopathic and psychopathic. I feel sorry for the other kids that live in this household with these dodo birds. Yeah, I said that. Because to me, you are not good role models. Because you're telling your children to defy the legal process. Hey, you got a little money, fight it. They want you to go to court, give information, fight it. So y'all just really gonna act like some old New York gangsters, huh? Yeah, we heard you from New York. So y'all, the black version of the mob, yeah, you know we ain't gonna go there. We ain't no snitches. We ain't getting ready to go to court. We ain't gonna tell on our son. We ain't gonna say nothing. Gangsters are us. Gangsters are us. We ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't go to court. We ain't tell you nothing about our son. I see your black asses got there. How about that? You all look like fools, sound like fools. But as I had said to you all so many months ago, you lead by example. These are poor role models. Want to defy the court, want to play dumb, want to get a lawyer to spin lies. So if your lawyer can go into court and lie and say, we don't know what's going on, we don't know what's in the redacted documents, why should we go to LA? Y'all don't need us. We don't know nothing. They're playing games. Even if they don't know anything about the girl being murdered, they don't know anything about her being in their son's company. The point is, you go to the court, say what you got to say, and be done with it. Why would you want to procrastinate and play mind games with the judicial system when you could just go, show up, say what you got to say, and get your ass on out of there? Because you all have taught David to be just who he is. A bum, a murdering bum. I said that. No retraction. You've taught him to be a murdering bum. So now I have to look at the fact, what are you teaching the other two children? Same thing. Same damn thing. Lie, 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 lie. Manipulate, con, bamboozle. Do whatever you got to do to get by, to get what you want. Play dumb, put your head in the sand, don't say anything. That's what you're teaching your children. And then, here's the topper, everybody. These two dodo birds have a girl child. Now imagine that. They have a girl child, and their eldest is accused of unaliving and dismembering a girl child. Well, I'll be darned. And I'm going to go even deeper into Belly the Beast because I don't think you're ready for what I'm about to say. DeWood, were you molested as a child? Because that behavior comes from somewhere. Most of you know this. Most pedophiles have been essayed as children. And now that we know that there are younger children in this household, I have to ask if DeWood has essayed his brothers and sisters. Checkmate. Hot damn. Because I do believe that DeWood likes men and women, which means he's a homosexual, bisexual, and I won't doubt that he's been touched as a minor. His brothers and sisters touched as minors. So then I got to ask, Who has been touching the children? Allegedly. I bet somebody said, damn, that damn queen. Uh-huh. Mhm. Because I pay attention. I go where most people don't want to go. And that's in the belly of the beast. Because you're dealing with a beast. And in order to get to the truth of the story, you have to start at the beginning of the story. And the beginning of this story may go way, way, way back into the Wood's childhood. That perhaps the Wood was molested and he has learned and he is just imitating life. And naturally, it's no child's fault to be inappropriately touched. But if the child does not get any help for his desires and imitations, he or she will then go on to offend others. And you've heard this so many times of children touching children. They have to be taught that that's inappropriate. You cannot touch other children inappropriately. You cannot touch your family members. And if nobody says anything, it continues. If nobody knows, then it continues until somebody decides to speak up and say, hey, I don't want you touching me anymore. So I won't doubt that these children have been touched by somebody or one another. And that's why he was attracted to Celeste. Hello, Gigi. Thank you for joining me. He was attracted to Celeste because he's still a child himself. Come on, Queen. Preach. That's why you see a lot of adults who act like children because they're still in a child's mind frame. They're an adult body, but their mind is of a child. This is why you keep seeing all these beautiful women out here wanting to sleep with little boys. She's still a child. She's still thinking like a child, acting like a child. And then what's even more sick, she done gave birth to a child. Come on. You see it every day. They always got children. Pedophiles, they always got kids. Why? Why, Satan? Why? The hell if I know. But this shit is deep. It goes back in the book of life. A lot of these people are tainted and they go out into the world and all they're doing is repetition, repeating what was done to them. Not making no excuses because you should go get help. You are desiring to be with a child, touch a child, you need to go talk to somebody. Hey, I know this isn't right, but I like touching kids. It was done to me. Or if it wasn't done to you, you need to go talk to somebody. You do not want to go out here touching children. It's a crime. And sadly, still, you judges don't want to give people enough time in jail for touching kids. When you're an adult, I'm sorry, you got to pay the piper. I mean, you remember the story with Miss Letourneau? She just could not leave that little boy alone. I don't know what the obsession that have to have with that little boy. Even when he got grown, she still wanted to be with him. And he was so programmed, he just ran into the arms of his abuser, making babies with her. And then she ended up dying of cancer. Imagine that. She was sick. A sick lady. And every time I go on the YouTube queue, that's all I see. Thank you, bro. That's all I see are these beautiful women that just want to lay up with a little boy. I can't understand. What do you see in a child? And a lot of these children, no disrespect, their bodies look like children bodies. They not grown looking like a man. They look like little boys. So I'm trying to understand what is the fascination to be talking to a child and then say to yourself, I'm attracted to this 11-year-old. I want to talk to him after hours. I want to call him. I want to touch him. What the hell is wrong with you? What in the hell is wrong with you? And a lot of you aid these men as well. Yeah, we're going to talk about the men too. You think it's okay for your grown ass son to be peddling a little girl? Well, she 15, she's 16, she about grown. No, honey, she's still a child. Your 22-year-old ain't got no business talking to a 15-year-old or 14-year-old. It's wrong, 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 wrong. Same thing if you're 19. You ain't got no business talking to a 15-year-old, 16-year-old. Go get a fucking girl your own age. That's why you see these old heathens still want to hang around the schoolhouse. That's a bad sign. You see a grown man hanging around the schoolhouse, dial 911 in the 1. Your son, nephew want to hang at the schoolhouse, ask him why. Oh, hell yeah, you know I'm real. I don't want to hear that shit about, I just want to go back to the school and check on my old teachers and all of that. No, 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 not hanging outside with the young children. You want to go talk to your teachers, you go in the schoolhouse and say, hello. Go knock on the school teacher door and pop your head in and say, hey, I was thinking about you. I was in the neighborhood. I just wanted to come through and say hello. They let you come in and speak to the class, and then you get your ass on out of there. But you sitting outside hanging with the kids and standing with them. No, baby, that's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. That's what R. Kelly did, for some of you who did not know. They said it was known in Chicago. He would hang outside of High Park High School. Grown-ass man. But we know that his mother sheltered him for whatever reason. Why, I don't know. But she sheltered only R. Kelly. Come on with it. Why did she shelter only that child? And it seems that he was her most gifted child. Maybe that was why she saw a talent in him. And I'm going to keep this one in. I don't want him getting tainted. But he did become tainted because his sister was peddling him, mommy. And he also was being molested by the male neighbor, the older man. So he's been molested 2 times. And then he goes off to school. He can't learn because he's tainted. And he ends up leaving school for whatever reason. But I heard a teacher say he was evil, basically. I'm using that maybe a little too roughly, but I'm going to say this. She said he did something to her that she'll never repeat. So we'll let that fly in the air. And you decide what you think he did for this woman to never want to repeat what R. Kelly did. And after you've heard the allegations of the things he likes to do to women and men and boys and girls, use your imagination. We live in a sick world. We live in a sick world. I'm praying for justice for Celeste Rivas because I feel like she was failed. Whenever you have children who don't stay at home, they don't go to school, they are being failed because a parent or relative or whomever care they're in, you are supposed to be looking after this child. So if the child is not going to school, somebody has to stand accountable. And I agree with somebody who said they believe the reason why these people didn't report her missing is because they didn't want the state to get involved. Because at some point the state's going to get involved. Your child is not going to school. So it's easy to say she's missing. Very clever. Very clever. Is that what you all did, Rivas Hernandez family? You knew she was in and out and over here and over there. Fisher said she was staying with somebody in LA. Well, who was that person? A grown-up, a child? And even if it's a child, why the parents aren't saying, hey, little girl, you got to go back to your house? See, that's something that's I don't understand about some of you stupid adults. Why do you let other children hang at your house as if they don't have a damn house? We heard this about the Kepner girl. who was unalived by her stepbrother. He shoved her under a bed on a cruise ship. She was going to her friends' houses to spend the night. Okay, so you the parent and you're just gonna keep letting this girl come to your house and you ain't questioning why she want to spend the night at your house. You supposed to be going to the parents and having a one-on-one. Because you know it couldn't be queen, because I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna say to you directly in a very diplomatic fashion. How you doing? I notice your child likes to spend the night at my house quite often. Is there something going on that I should be aware of? Why she does not want to stay at her own house? I get it, kids like to hang with their friends a lot, but through the week, I think we all know that's not a good idea. She was running from her own house because these dodo parents didn't want to stand account for a mannish son. You want me to believe you didn't see the signs that he liked his own stepsister? I mean, we got grown-ups that look at other grown-ups and say, hey, you got a crush on him, don't you, girl? You got a crush on her, don't you? Say, well, so if other people can look at you and say you like somebody, you look interested in them, how the fuck you raising these kids and you couldn't tell that some hanky-panky was going on in your house? You're going to have to be a security guard, baby. And it's not saying that your children are not going to mess up and make mistakes, but you got to act like you care. That's my point. They get grown, they do what the hell they want to do. Hey, you ain't doing it in my house. Knock yourself out. But until then, you're going to abide by these rules in this house. Amen. Act like you care about your kids. That's all Queen is asking, okay? I get it. Nobody's perfect. There's no guidebook. What works for one may not work for somebody else. All children are different. All parents are different. But you have got to care for your children. You have got to monitor your children. Cell phones, computers, iPads, video games. You need to know what your children are doing when they're playing these games. And now you can talk to other people while playing the games, which that has led to dangerous situations as well. You have got to be aware of who the fuck your children are talking to. If you got to seize phones and go in there and see who they sending what to, hell yes. Because children don't got no business dirty talking, sending naked pictures, none of that. Porn sites, none of that. And you don't need to have it around your children. You like porn or whatever, okay, that's your business, but your children don't need to know mommy and daddy likes porn. You got to use discretion around your children. You got to monitor your children. You got to act like you care. This is why we have so many wayward children, because the parents are wayward. Well, it don't matter what they think, bro. You do what you have to do. That's why I said everybody's different. Because that's the whole point. When your children are grown, they are entitled to do and go wherever they want. You don't gotta like the choices they make, but they're legal adults. But so long as they are young and underage, they have to abide by the rules. Even if the rules may seem strict, it is what it is. And I get it. Everybody don't raise their children the same. But you want to be in tune to your children. Now, the flip side is that children will get into mischief. That's just the law of the land. You were a child. You did things you didn't have no business. Your children will do the same. That is just life. But you cannot act like you don't care. You can't say, well, go on, smoke it, go on, get high, go on, get drunk. No, 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 no. No. Don't misguide your kids. Don't do that. This young girl should be living her best life. Pretty girl, pretty hair, pretty skin. She should be living, enjoying being a child, having a little young teenage life, going to the movies, to the mall, dances, doing what kids do. But guess what? Have you seen anybody from her house speak to the news? I haven't. Just messages. We want justice for Celeste. We want David to stand account, blah, blah, blah. I want to see a face with the message. Let me see your face. Show me that you are concerned for Celeste. Put a face with the message. Could you please? I get it. Everybody's not camera ready, TV ready, but it does not matter. That is your child. You brought her here. We did not. So act like you care. You've got Mr. Fisher talking more for Celeste than her own damn parents, guardians. And I find that suspicious. And I believe that is the reason why we're talking about a dismembered kid, because nobody gave a fuck about her. You didn't stand in the gap for your kid. And the fact that she was running away, the young boy told people that there was something going on in her house that she didn't favor. What was that exactly? You never gonna tell us. That's probably why you made it seem like she was missing, because you all had shit going on in your house. Selling drugs, getting high on drugs, different people coming and going. You didn't want the truth to come out. Something was going on in your house. I'm supposed to believe she was just a wayward kid. Now, flip side could be she was a wayward kid. She didn't want to mind. She didn't want to listen. She made up stuff. She lied to her friends. That happens. But the point is, she's a minor, and you all have to be responsible. If she was a wayward child, wouldn't mind, wouldn't listen, wouldn't come in, then you would have to go to the next step and put her somewhere where she could mind. And that means juvenile detention, a foster home. I'm sorry to say it, but many people do it because they don't have control over their children and they don't want to be responsible for a wayward child. Because most states will prosecute parents who don't make their children go to school. You could even go to jail. What was going on in her house? Because I don't want to come across like I'm accusing these people, but I still feel like there's something was going on, and possibly still may be going on if there are other small children in this house, because these people are not even coming forward. We're in a new year. I've yet to see anybody put a face to a message about Celeste. Hi, I'm the mother, I'm the aunt, I'm the dad. We want justice. We want, I don't see nothing. Why not? I mean, you don't got to be on TV every day, but damn, we like to see you at least once a month speak about your child. So that makes me wonder if y'all got some shit going on in your house. And if DHS is investigating, good, and good. I want you to stay on your toes. Because if you ain't living right, you got kids in your custody. So now we got to ask about those other children. Where are they? Are they still in the custody of the house where Celeste was living? Do they still live in the same house? What is going on with that family? Yeah, I'm asking all the questions. Because I watch a lot of social media and I look at how people act, grown-ups. And I always say to myself, I'm not going to be surprised if the children turn out to be a misfit, because I'm looking at the mom and daddy. I look at how you all act, how you all talk on social media. You put all your business out there. You rant and rave on social media about this, that, the cousin, the mama, the baby daddy. And I'm just looking like I feel sorry for these children, because the parents ain't got no damn sense. And it's a sad thing to say, but a lot of you adults, you act like children. And you really don't have no business being nobody's parent. You don't have no business being a parent because you're still a child your damn self. Your mind ain't right. Everybody want to show what they doing, getting drunk, turned up, passing the blunt, this and that, popping pills, and yet you somebody's mother, father. That's not cute. That's not cute. What message are you sending to your child, to children, to the public? I don't care. I don't care what nobody say about me. I hear that all the time. That's all you ever hear on Facebook. I don't care what you say about me. I don't give a F what you say about me. Throwing up birds. Oh, I hate that. I think I've done it maybe twice in life. It's not ladylike. What you throwing up a bird for? Who you saying F you to? So now your children, they doing it in pictures. Don't do that. That's ugly. Don't do that. Keep some things sacred. Keep some things off social media. Mind your tone, your demeanor, how you look and how you dress as well. And everything is not meant to be filmed. We all have to learn that. Can't film everything. Sometimes we think we're just showing things. It's harmless to us, but it may come back to bite us in the butt later. I'm not going to hold you guys. I'm an hour, 35 minutes into this live, but I wanted to bring you the latest updates pertaining to Dominic Evans, who has felt the brunt of this Nancy Guthrie case. I guess basically he's saying he's innocent, he's not involved, and he's paying the piper, he and his family, children. So I'm going to say this as I always say to people, please do not dox others. Do not put their personal information out. Don't stalk them. Don't drive by their house. Don't bother them. You don't know if this man's involved or not. Naturally, he's been vetted and talked to by FBI, police. Leave him alone. Just leave these people alone. And some of you YouTubers need to get it together too, because I don't know what is wrong with some of you. You all are old and dead inside, and you just don't understand. You're going to fuck around and find out you keep on stalking these folks out here, hanging out at the driveway. I saw food today, hanging out at the end of Nancy's driveway. You just look so damn stupid. Some of you people act like Nancy just going to walk up out the damn house, come up out the ground. You got to know your place. And I get it. People want to see things. They got drones flying up. You get to see the house and this, that, and the other. But we're looking at a dead house for 3 weeks. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's just a house. Okay. Some people in suits were on the ground. Okay. But still know your place. These neighbors don't want a lot of you around, gawking, stalking, filming. You don't get it because it's not you. You don't live there. And I always tell people, you better be very careful how you tread, because one day you are going to be on the receiving end. And you're not going to like it to have people following you around with a cell phone, following you around, going to the grocery store, going to the car wash, going to the doctor's office, somebody sitting in the car following you. You probably wouldn't like that. I tell you a good movie to watch. It's an older movie. It's called Paparazzi. This guy decides to turn the tables on these famous paparazzi members. You know the old saying, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. You have to be very careful, because you might end up the subject of being stalked your damn self, and you're not going to like it. That's why you need to be very careful following people, doxing people. You wouldn't like it if people put your personal information out online and they started sitting outside your house in a car and a phone and yelling obscenities to you, banging on your door, calling you nasty names. You'd be very pissed off, and you'd be the first one calling the police, talking about, I don't know why these people stalking me. I'm a YouTuber. I don't bother nobody. Yes, you do. And your fans can't help you when the tables get turned. All they can do is say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was going to go this far. Now people are bothering you. Well, you're doing it to other people. What's the difference? And a lot of you like following these people. It's not funny, because you're helping them stalk these people. You can't just keep using the word, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a TikToker, I'm a this, I'm a that. I'm telling you, you're going to end up in the same place as these people that you are following around, sitting outside their house, bothering the neighbors. If the people tell you don't want to be bothered, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Because the tables can't turn on you. And just like the situation with Nancy and her children, they played that kidnap game. It doesn't matter if it's relevant or not. The point is, it was done. And karma is a motherfucker. And I'm not here to say this woman deserves to be kidnapped. What I'm saying is, you have to be careful what you put out into the universe. She played this game with her children and family members, and I still don't understand the objective of playing the game, because everybody knew the secret. So it wasn't like it was a secret amongst the people participating. So what was the point of the game? And now fast forward years later, an 84-year-old lady gets kidnapped. There's no way in my right mind I can't say there ain't no irony to that. Hell yeah, there's irony. There's a whole lot of irony to that. There's people right now who said, I've never even heard of this kidnap game before. No, because usually when we went to visit our relatives, we were told we were going. Hey, I'm going to send you over to New York, Wisconsin for the summer. You're going to either drive, be driven, fly, take a Greyhound bus. You're going to stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They're going to drop you back off. They're going to fly you back in. You know everything. There's no secret. There's no mystery. There's no game. Everybody in the store knows the rules. You're going over here for this long. They know you're coming, and they're going to make sure you get back to our house. There's no mystery. So this is why I couldn't understand when I heard this a week ago. What was the object of this kidnap game? What was the point? And now we have an elderly person gone. And everyone's speculating on why she's gone. Who did it? Why? And as I said to many of you, the law doesn't care about the why. Okay? I'm going to say when the person is apprehended. I'm not going to say if. When the perpetrator is apprehended, the law judge is not going to question why. Even if this person never speaks, he or she is not going to care. The point is, you broke into this lady's house, you assaulted her and took her out, unalived her then or after, and dumped her somewhere. Ain't no in between. So it don't matter if it's a stranger, somebody that knows her, knows of her, in passing, random, family member. The game is the same. You gonna lay down in a prison cell for kidnapping, breaking and entering, assault, murder, disposal of a body. Because I do believe that's where we're going here. The judge ain't gonna care. Because every time I hear people say robbery gone wrong, it makes me sick to my stomach. Because you're acting like a 5-year-old broke into her house. Oh, it was just a prank. This is not a prank. I think it's obvious that the kidnapping of Nancy was not a prank, it was intentional. So whether the person stalked the house, went by a day before, days before, weeks before, they went there with a mask on, tampering with the cameras, disabled them, made their way into her house, however, assaulted her, did whatever else in the house, and left out of there with this lady, either alive or deceased. Where do you figure in a burglary gone bad? Because there are stipulations to the act itself. Burglary, I believe, is considered when you're not home. Okay. Home invasion means you're at home. This was a home invasion. And some people don't even believe it was really an actual kidnapping for ransom. It was a home invasion, and then you took her out, which is still by law kidnapping. But you didn't go there with the intent to kidnap for money. Because by now, if you wanted money, you would have shown proof of life so you could get the money. Get the money, retrieve the money, drop the lady off, tell them where to pick the lady up. That has not happened. Because that was never the intent. And that's what makes people wonder, well, then what was this all about? What was the motive for invading this lady's home, violating her, and taking her out? I don't know. That's the scary part of this story, is the not knowing. Everybody's comparing eyes. Carlos, this Luke guy, Dominic, Tommaso. I'm assuming that law officials have done that already. They've done a 3D AI version of the suspect without the mask on and compared all photographs of known people to that burglary's features. Something else that was said today, that the DNA found in her house were known to Nancy. Okay? That partial DNA was not good enough to put into the CODIS database. And once again, as I said, where did you find that DNA? In the foyer, living room, bathroom, kitchen, her room. Where'd you find it? On one of the door handles, what? Doorknobs. And what did they do? What did he do with the Nest cameras? What'd you do? Take them to the pawn shop? You might want to be looking at see if somebody has decided to sell those cameras if they're not busted up. Did he throw them out? He kept them. So nobody's asking any questions about those. Did he ramble with anything pertaining to the Nest cameras inside of the house? Maybe that's what he was doing. Trying to find the connection to the camera. Disabling it on our phone. Since everybody's so curious about the 41 minutes. See, let me say this, because I have not heard anyone discuss this either on the news. You don't really know what time he left. Come on with it. You all have been talking about the 41 minutes as if it was an actual marathon on television. How do you know what this fool was doing up and down? This connection could mean lots of things that I don't even want to say on the line. You can use your own discretion. Because see, you don't know what she said to the perpetrator. Please don't hurt me. I got a pacemaker. I got this, I got that. They could have punched her, stabbed her up, try to make it stop working. See, you don't know. Because you got to remember, this person is trying to survive. She's trying to survive. So it's no telling what she said to this thing. My daughter's famous. She got money. She could pay you. What did I do to you? I don't know you. Why are you here? What have I done to you? See, we don't even know what the conversation was. Because I won't doubt these two had a conversation while all this was going on, whatever he was doing to her. Hitting her, punching her, gouging her, whatever. Sexually assaulting. Man told her why he was there. But we don't know because we ain't got the perpetrator and we don't have Nancy. Oh, but you can best believe there was some conversation going on. Some grunting, some mumbling, something. And I'd like for somebody to go in the house and tell us what is missing, ain't right, don't look right. I ain't heard none of that. Yeah, the kids went in and this was broke, knocked over, moved. This picture taken, this. I ain't heard shit. You ain't told us nothing about the bathroom, the bedroom, the living room, her room, what her room looked like. Because I'm assuming she was in the bed. She'd go to church. Most elderly people, they in the bed at 1:40 something in the morning. They trying to get up. They want to go to church. They're asleep. I want to know what his DNA came from. Her bedroom, her sheets, pillowcases, what? Did she have carpet in the room, tile in the room, hardwood floors? Is there blood in the room? Semen in the room, fecal matter, urine, hair, fingernails? Come on with it. Does it look like he went in other parts of the room rambling through things, looking for something? Money, paperwork, documents, anything. I don't know. We have not heard movement on credit cards, checkbooks, because sometimes they'll take things and give it to other people to spend and they split the difference. So far, nothing. This is why many people say, well, it's personal because we have not heard that a checkbook was stolen, debit card, credit card stolen, used. I don't know. Did he ask her for PIN numbers? She didn't want to give them up. Well, I'll take you out of here. We'll go to the bank. Maybe she perished on the way. I don't know. I don't really know what the hell is going on. I just know this person didn't have no business in her house. Didn't have no business putting his hands on her. Because I don't believe she was bleeding when she went to bed. And as someone said, and I have said it too, if indeed the blood came from this person physically harming her, why would you think this person would not unalive her? You're willing to break into a house, put your hands on a person, then remove them from the house, and then in the same breath, we're supposed to believe he wouldn't unalive her. What's the difference? You beating up an 84-year-old woman versus you unaliving an 84-year-old woman. There is no difference. And I think most of you know this. You're dealing with a very vile creature Now, I was listening to this lady talk earlier about eyebrows. His eyebrows are curved, which means he cares about people. Kind of stunned me when she said that. So I'm just trying to understand where she was coming from. So let's role play. Curved eyebrows of anyone means we are caring people, what she was saying. Okay, so you're telling me somebody broke into an 84-year-old woman's house, hit her, took her out. He's a caring person. Meaning what exactly? He cares about the people he's defending to why he took her out? You should have elaborated. Because many people gonna think this lady done lost her damn mind. What the hell is she saying? So you saying he was there basically as what? A messenger. If we're to believe this curved eyebrow nonsense. He cared about exacting revenge. That's what you mean. He cared about what he thinks Nancy did to his friend, family, or somebody in this Guthrie clan. Well, now, interesting. And I've asked that recently. Could this woman have done something to somebody and they decided to exact revenge against her? Or they took her as a message to these other people. I also asked you all, do you think these family members know who took her, but they ain't told the police? They got an idea who took her, but they haven't told the police. Let's go to my community page before I check out here. Her husband has visited NBC to talk to her colleagues and people who work there. Many people who commented under this News Nation video were not happy because they didn't like the commentator's conversation that he went from the top to the bottom, meaning everybody, janitors, whomever, and they took an offense to that. So what are you saying? Janitors are at the bottom. So they didn't like the commentator's commentary on top to bottom. They may have been trying to say figuratively, we talked to the CEO all the way down to the janitor, mailroom clerk, whomever, but it came across as offensive. It's on my community page if you'd like to check it out. I asked you a question about David's family. The mother hired an attorney, and they tried to get out of attending the LA grand jury summons. Was it right for them to be subpoenaed? 89% yes, 4% no, 7% not sure. Michelle Hunley, the lady I talked about day before yesterday, who has been missing for 24 years, and she was found, but she does not want contact with her family. I asked her she should be charged for search efforts by the law enforcement and the FBI. 63% of you said yes, 26% no, 11% not sure. Will $1 million reward bring someone forward with the truth about what happened to Nancy Guthrie? 18% of you said yes, 60% no, 23% of you not sure. Wow. 60% of you don't think this reward will help. Interesting. Is the kidnapper's DNA in CODIS? 0% yes, 65% yes. Excuse me, 65% no. 35% of you are not sure. So wow, most of you don't even think his DNA is in CODIS. Right now, there's not enough DNA to put into CODIS. Interesting. So whose DNA is that they took from her house, and where did it come from in her house? I'm curious. If the Guthrie siblings think this is a vendetta, do they know who and why their mom was kidnapped? Do they know who did it and why they did it? 35% yes, 4% no, 27% not sure, 35% have an idea. Now, 26 of you voted, so it's a tie between yes and may have an idea. Very interesting. Did the Guthries do something to someone for their mom to be kidnapped? 3% yes, 39% no, 58% not sure. Okay. Well. Check out my uh, movie of the week, free on Tubi. Be careful what you say. About podcasters giving advice, and some lady takes the advice and things go terribly wrong with her son. Also, check out News Nation's video of Michelle Huntley, who has been missing for 24 years, and she has been located, but she doesn't want to have contact with her family. The one thing I did find interesting about that story is that her husband did not report her missing for 22 days. She left in December to go shopping at Kmart in the neighboring state and never seen again. So I think she left on the 9th of December, and he didn't report missing until December 31st. Very reason why many people thought he was guilty of harming her. So I wonder, how does he feel now? Her daughter wants to rekindle a relationship, but the mother does not want to talk to her children, to the husband, to anyone. So now I have to ask, was she legally declared dead by the husband? Did he have life insurance on her? Did he collect? Because now, guess what? Imagine she was declared dead. He collected life insurance. He's got to pay that money back because she's alive. Will she be charged by the county she lived in for search efforts? Very interesting information. There's also commentary on my community page about Savannah Guthrie's sorority sisters. I believe it shared a message pertaining to the disappearance of the mother. I also want you to check out this video I put on my page about you can't burglar-proof your home. There's a guy who's incarcerated for burglaries. He robbed 200 plus homes. And he said he never would go to a home that had signs that said ADT, cameras, whatever. He just would not take the risk of burglarizing homes that had signs. Now, he said some would probably still try to burglarize a home with an ADT sign in the yard, but he said he wouldn't. He would not waste his time. And I have seen quite a few videos the past couple of days pertaining to people trying to show you how to keep your house safe, your doors, your windows, glass doors. Excuse me. So I want everyone to be safe out here. Something I did not mention during the live about that card at her door. I think I'm confused. Adult Protective Services. Why would they leave a card at Nancy's door? So I think Brian Eden said his producer saw when the person left the card on her door. Well, my thing is, come see, come saw. Why is it there? Why would Adult Protective Services be visiting her house? Why would they be leaving a card on the door? For what reason? It was some relation about a neighbor report, something. I don't know, I'm kind of confused about that. If anybody has any information, just put it under this live stream. I'm not going to hold you all, but those are the latest developments coming out of Arizona, and Texas, and California. Mr. Fisher has revealed documents pertaining to David, the grand jury, and Celeste Rivas Hernandez. He wants justice for her. And with this case, you can also see there has been uh, ill will between the medical examiner and the police department. Why, I don't know. They've had some rifts over the years. And now we get confirmation that she was dismembered because she's in two different bags. And I don't see anybody lying about that and putting that in a document. You know the difference between bag one and bag two. And the fact that they were cadaver bags, that's even more concerning because somebody had to purchase the bags to put her in them. And the fact that you got head, torso in one bag, and then arms and legs in another bag. This is some deep SHIT. Didn't put her in regular garbage bags, but cadaver bags. So that means you had to order them like you ordered that burn cage. So this all seems premeditated to me. Because wouldn't it be easier to just go to the store and buy a box of black 32-pound trash bag? Stay woke, everybody. Most people who are discarded, they're either in a tub, a suitcase, plastic bin, a drum. Never have I ever heard of anybody was found in a damn cadaver bag. Ever since I've been living. Until now. And the fact that they never even mentioned that there were two of the bags. And these are distinct bags. As I said, these are not garbage bags. So somebody deliberately bought these bags like you're making a joke. Because that's what dead people are put in, are they not? Cadaver bags. So this is obviously a joke to you, David, and your friends. Well, let's see how funny it is when your little black ass is indicted for MURDER, and you other little hens, you get indicted as well. And I'd like to know what they said to the grand jury, what they know about her. Celeste. Saw her, didn't see her, any dealings with these people in particular. I also saw a picture a week or so ago of allegedly her at the table. There was her phone on the table. Somebody said it was her phone on the table. She was surrounded by these people at the table. They all, I guess, sitting around drinking. Was that her in the photograph, or was it somebody else that favors her? Lots of questions. And the main question, when was she unalived? Where was she stored? What was the motive for unaliving her? Who all knew about it? Who all helped? And how many people heard about her being unalived? And how many are going to go down for her unalived? Make it make sense. How long was that Tesla parked on that street? Because what I'm trying to figure out, if it didn't get moved right around the time he was going on tour, because I thought it was close, it was like a day, the same day or the day before he went on tour, that the car got moved. So then you got to ask, well, how long was the girl deceased? See, all that matters. When she actually died, the purchasing of the bags, the cadaver bags, was she stored inside of the house? And the other question of the hour, was she actually frozen? Was she put in a deep freezer, stand up, square, in his home, stored in there for 1 month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally, when it was time to go on tour, he realized, I got to get her out of here because I don't know when I'll be back. This is not my house. I'm just renting. I don't want to take a chance somebody finding her in a freezer. So let me put her in this trunk of my car. All foolishness, if you ask me. Because there are ways of disposing of people. This, to me, is the weirdest SHIT I've ever heard of. Putting her in your own car and using somebody to park the car around the damn corner because you're getting ready to go on tour, as if nobody is getting ready to put a sticker on your car. And I find it interesting that people were so worried about the damn car. People visit people all the time. Who's actually watching a car parked to say, oh, it's been sitting there too long, ain't nobody driving it. Well, how you know it ain't somebody visiting? And they just haven't moved their car. I always found that strange. Are you going by everybody's door knocking? Hey, is this your car? Hey, is this your car? Hey, is this your car? Who does that? It's a public street. A car can stay parked on a public street. So why were these people nitpicking about that car? I'm curious. Because that's very interesting. Because let's be truthful. $1 million homes, a lot of people who are wealthy mind their own damn business. So why were people concerned about that car? Which all in all, it was a good thing, but I'm still just curious. The bylaws about the cars being parked on a public street. And David, as I said, is a dodo bird because you moving that car around there led to where you are right now, being a suspect in this girl's murder. It's your car. She was in your car, chopped up into 2 different bags, and there is video, pictures of you with this girl. And also Fisher said there were more pictures and a camera left behind, which is even more mind-boggling that you would leave a camera behind and this girl is in the photographs with you. This is a fool, an A1 fool, and I do not feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for nobody that's entangled with this fool. I just don't. And that manager, you're just greedy. The fact that you said, well, it wasn't my job to say anything about the car. Okay, this is your client, and you don't think he needed to know that his car was found around the corner with a dead person chopped up inside of it? Oh, okay. No, you didn't want him to miss that money because his money is your money. You eat because he makes the money. And you're that greedy and selfish and disgusting and vile. Because I would have been breaking my neck to tell him, hey, homeboy, we got problems. Or you got a problem. Your car was just found with a dead girl in it. What the hell is this all about? Who the hell says, well, I don't know nothing about it. It ain't my problem. I didn't think it was my place to say anything. No, you didn't want to say nothing because you wanted that tour to continue. You are dirty or something. All of you just foul, hating a murderer. What I would call this a 5-foot giant. He probably not more than 5'5", 5'6". He ain't getting on shit. He's just like everybody else. 2 arms, 2 legs. He ain't nothing special. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people. You're always upholding people that you don't know a damn thing about because they can run fast, throw a ball in a hoop, throw a piece of pigskin down a football field, and you just so enamored with them. They are human just like you. They have been afforded an opportunity to make a lot of money. That is it. But they are no better than you or I. Lord have mercy. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. Hope you all liked my little short of my bathroom. Nothing spectacular, but I decided to upload that to the queue just to show you the little plant that I put on the back of the commode and my little crystal ball that was given to me by Sue last year when we went up to the Wales house. She had gave it to me before we took that trip. Thank you all for following this network. Check my community page for said updates to breaking news. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $McGangie 129 Cash App. Figures and chats are always welcome in the live stream. Today is February 26th. Today is my mother's birthday. She is deceased. Happy birthday, mother. And also, 2 years ago, a 15-year-old autistic child was reported missing in Middle Tennessee. His name is Sebastian Rogers. Today, I will come back to discuss the disappearance of this child, discuss the investigation, where it's going, where it ain't going, why we don't have any updates. Will there be an update? And will there ever be an arrest to this child's disappearance? I do not believe he walked out, wandered off. I do not believe that. Is this also a cold case? We will see. Join me later today for a discussion about the 2-year anniversary of the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. God bless your children. And may there be justice for this boy child. Also, Summer Wells, Nancy Guthrie, and Celeste Rivas her name. Thank you. You have been listening to the Vol XL.